Welcome back to SFR Season 18 Division 1, and tonight is the lights, palm trees and pure adrenaline as we arrive in the United States Grand Prix for round 9 or round 8 for the Miami Grand Prix. We swap the tempo of speed at Monza for the glitz and the glamour of the Sunshine State, the Miami International Autodrome, winding its way around the Hard Rock Stadium. The modern street circuit is a mix of fast-flowing corners, heavy braking zones, and a tight technical sections, making it one of those unpredictable and unforgiving layouts on the calendar, which most people do testify to. Drivers will be tested on every level, mentally and physically, as they try to keep it clean over the next 28 laps on the track that combines risk and rhythm and equal measures too. With 3 DRS zones, overtaking is possible, especially down the long back straight in towards turn 17, where we saw a big battle between Hurricane and Volokongan and Hazara too over the last couple of seasons. But track limits and setup compromise were major talking points tonight. Too much downforce and you lose on the straights, too little and you're a passenger through sector 2 as well. So it's all about equalising the setup as well, making sure you get into the absolute key as well, because sometimes too much downforce when you lose a lot of time on the straight and a lot less as well. So you have to make sure you combine it really well as well and see how it feels. As we've got some drivers out on the circuit there, which is President Elite, and he did do quite well, not going to lie, at the Monza Grand Prix, because he was running inside the top 4, but unfortunately he pitted too early. I say unfortunately, he pitted too early, which was his call, and he pitted under the VSC, which seemed like a smart strategy, especially for the likes of Moenimo too, who went long on their medium compound tyres to try and, well, who was short. Well, sorry about that. Let me get it all changed around. I wasn't thinking clearly. So they went for a shorter stint on the medium compound tyres because the VSC came out and pitted on the hard compound tyres, because when you pit on the VSC, you lose about 40%. I think you lose about increase to 40% race distance, sorry, as you will lose a lot of time in the pit lane. So you won't lose a lot of time in the pit lane as you normally would under racing circumstances. And therefore, you can go hot. He tried to go towards the end of the hard compound tyres in Monza, but unfortunately, tyre wear biting back towards the end of the Grand Prix, especially for President Elite and Moenimo. They both fell foul to the tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix as they just ran out of pure grip, didn't they? And unfortunately, they couldn't keep it towards the end of the Grand Prix. We're actually going to watch President Elite. He's done so well so far, despite being a Division 2 driver, but I think he's now promoted up to Division 1. He has shown glimpses and promises, signs here in Division 1, but I think he still needs to piece it together to try and get the best possible result as we head down in towards turn 1. This is very tricky as he slides his way down in towards 1, 2 and 3. It's very easy to mess with that particular part of the session because you're hard on the brakes as well and back of the throttle. Didn't really take too much curb on neither entry. Now we're sweeping through. This is where the real challenge begins. In towards sector 1. Constant change of direction there. Flicking the steering as we make our way now towards this long left-hander now. Comes back on the inside, takes a wide angle, but misses the apex slightly on entry. Now back of the throttle once again as we reach the second DRS zone. The DRS will be activated. We do see some overtakes happen down in towards turn 11, but sometimes it's wise to back out of it to try and get the best run out of 16 towards 17. Here we go in towards the breaker zone, and we'll see how it takes it. This can be very difficult too because it's a slow speed section, which means traction is very important. As we come through this chicane, which has been a menace in the past, especially for MDJ, but look at this now, swooping through these tight corners as we exit turn 16 onto the long back straight. This is very important to get a good run out of turn 16, because if you don't, if you're the attacking driver, defending driver, you won't have that chance and you'll be vulnerable down the straight as we head down towards the breaking zone. This is where it can be very difficult because the tyres are screaming high. It's so easy to lock up on the inside as he gets back on the throttle once again. He makes his way now towards the line, and let's see what lap time he can set in the Aston Martin. It's a 26.4. I'm not quite sure if that is a relatively decent lap time, but Burmeister, who goes second place, 5/10 backwards, so considerably a good lap time there. But Rising Star goes towards the top of the timing sheets. I remember Kaname and Rising Star both in the Alpine. They took an Alpine 1-2, didn't they, in qualifying, but unfortunately Rising Star couldn't convert it into a podium because something must have happened to him. He was running 1-2, but I think he had a bit of drama in towards the last stage of the Grand Prix. Kaname finished at the podium because it was an Alpine 1-2, remember, last season. But Volokongan started from the back of the field and he won the Grand Prix. Kaname tried to attack him. Remember that battle between Kaname and Volokongan down in towards the final few corners? That was spectacular to watch indeed. Last season in season 17. And it was Volokongan who won. that Grand Prix. Yusuf Farouk now heads down towards the heavy breaker zone, and he in the ARB. Let's see what he does now as he has massive wheel spin out of the final few corners. Moenimo goes quickest by a blistering lap time there from Moenimo, a 25.524 from the Ferrari driver, and yet we're still yet to see him win a Grand Prix this season. So a lot of pressure applied towards the Ferraris. I think Ferrari were in a comfortable spot last week, winning 1-2, but unfortunately they split the strategy and got it wrong. Doesn't sound familiar, doesn't sound like a strange thing to do for Ferrari, but it still continues in the game. But I really hope Ferrari have sorted the antiques out for these races, because they're both quick, but unfortunately just misjudged the strategy as they go 1-2 with Velocio Jr. up into P2. In the second Ferrari, Harry Kane has a massive slide there, very aggressive on the brakes to really kick it out of him as he gets good traction on the corner though. So he still mitigates that very nicely as he makes his way towards line. And it's P2 for Harry Kane with a 25.773. And I do think he's strong around this track. Remember him and Hazard, who had a battle, a mighty battle between the two Scandinavians, went down in towards turn 17 and they both collided. And I think Hazard won the Grand Prix. Harry came off worst, and he's still... He's strong around here. Is Matthias. Scored one podium this season after a high at the Monza Grand Prix. His pace is back, and I wonder, can it transpire in towards the Grand Prix too? It could be very interesting to see what Harry Kane could do. Now, he's on the form where he should be before. Fireblaze goes up into P3 in the Alpine. Still yet to search for his first win of the season, so still hunting for glory is the Alpine driver, and I really hope he gets it soon, because it's been a long time coming. It's been over 2 seasons now for Fireblaze to not have a win just yet in his locker, but he definitely does have the pace. It's just about coordinating his attacks, just trying to piece everything together and be more aggressive as well. But Fireblaze, he's still doing a good job though, despite all of that, all the issues he occurs in the last Grand Prix. Of course, second chicane, he got pushed off the track, I dare say, in the second chicane on Monza when he was behind both Ferrari drivers, and it cost him a few places too. What could it have been? It's always like a what could it have been story for Fireblaze, but I really hope he does eventually get a win, no matter how long it takes. It could be a long time, like Sergio Perez or something like that. But we're watching the Mercedes driver, Joram, who's had a bit of a disappointing downer of a season so far. Goes up into P11 in the Mercedes. Not a lot of people like this track, which is quite understandable. Me, myself, I can't bear this track. I absolutely despise it here at Miami. It's just not a good track for me whatsoever. It does feel nice, like if you do have the setup, the confidence, the bravery, the skills, it does, like it is a very nice track in terms of qualifying. In terms of real life though, it can be a bit boring and stale really. Not much happens at the actual Miami Grand Prix. I remember who spun down there in that last set. So was it Williams who's having a bit of a become a cropper? Is that Burmeister spun, you know, where Esteban Ocon spun, I think, in the Haas a couple of years ago, or Alpine, shall I say. He spun and he's lost his wing. Wow, you see bizarre moments here at the Miami Grand Prix. It does catch a lot of people out. And unfortunately, a trip to the pits is necessitated there for Burmeister, even though he is on his out lap. That's a wasted set of soft compound tyres, because soft compound tyres are very delicate around any racetrack. That car looks very weird. It looks like his left front tyre is off the ground, it seems, from my perspective. It looks like there's something wrong with the ride height or something like that. Yeah, it's just like the car's off the ground, so a bit weird there from Burmeister. I'm not quite sure if it's me or not. In my eyes, deceiving me. Should it look like that? On board with Rising Star, it seems fine for the Racing Bull driver. So Burmeister's car was up in the air a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't affect him throughout qualifying. Not realistic damage where you break a suspension or something, the car's off balance. So Rising Star on his... I think Rising Star took pole last season here in Miami, and it was a very good lap time indeed. But I like to say every single race, he must be sick of hearing me saying every single race, he always struggles in the race. He falls backwards so quickly as well, especially in the first stint. It's just something about race trim where Rising Star just can't seem to hook it up and get it together and keep the car and tyres under control. And it must be a setup issue, sure. And I think he's a very good driver, but in terms of the setup, I think he's just running low downforce, and unfortunately he has just invalidated. It looked like an aggressive approach for Rising Star in towards 1, 2 and 3. He was really riding the curves there, trying to maximise every single part of the track, but unfortunately at the end of the first sector, or beginning of it, or should I say down towards turn 6, 7, that's where he has invalidated and he has to go for again. So a lot of energy has been taken out those tyres there. MDJ currently in P10. He suffered as well back at the Miami Grand Prix last week. Not last week, last season. He's up by a tenth of a second. Is MDJ, a former drivers championship contender in season 14, and he gets a nice slipstream off the back of his Dutch compatriot of Fireblaze. Those two good friends, of course. Moe Nemo is starting a lap time. He's headed down in towards turn 1, so watch out for him. Rising Star's gone for it again on the same set of soft compound tyres, so he's cleared the fuel of the car up for more than one lap, and we'll see what the Saudi Arabia could do in P5. He's a very good qualifier, but in terms of the race, that's where it seems like his downfall starts really. MDJ is up by 0.2 of a second in this blue sector as he continues heading down towards the back straight, coming towards the final few corners of this racetrack, the heavy braking zone. And once you get this right, that's when the hard work is... it's a very bizarre snap, isn't it, from MDJ? Not quite sure if it was a real issue or he felt like he couldn't turn in properly, but unfortunately bailed out of that one and his lap time has been ruined. Into the pits he goes then, as he's currently sat down in P10 is MDJ. As we watch Moe Nemo taking his corners very nicely and aggressively. Jensen hasn't set a lot of time just shutting the Alpine either in P12. It does take a lot of well, I say a lot of time. It does take a bit of time for Jensen to really warm up and get into the flow of things. And that's been the narrative this season, really, hasn't it, with Jensen? Like, you don't know. He's unpredictable sometimes because he can have a really good race, like a dominant race. The next race, he just goes backwards, like he has no pace. It just seems like a yo-yo effect every single time, even though he's the championship leader. Here comes the Ferrari as he takes pole. It's a 25.4. And a McLaren has spun, I think. Is that Harry Kane? He has spun. And where is that? That's towards the S section as well, before turn 8 and 9. So Harry Kane has gone for a spin. That's a bizarre... No, it's not a bizarre place. He probably touched the curb on the near side, and unfortunately the car just spun around all kind of too much speed, and the back end of the car swapped ends and went in towards a spin. So unfortunately that time there for him is ruined, but Fireblaze is on an absolute flyer here in the Alpine, so watch out for him. Watch out for Jensen. I think he's making his way towards the line. Where's Jensen? P2 with a 25.502, so that's more like it on the par with his pace as his Alpine teammate of Fireblaze heads out the final corner as he gets close to the walls of the exit. Here he is towards the line he goes, and let's see what his lap time is like. It is P3 with a 25.549. Not too far away from Jensen now. He has been out-qualified by Jensen in the last couple of races. Has Fireblaze, I think Monza. Yeah, Jensen out-qualified him in Monza too, and Saudi Arabia, but Jensen has had the better of his own teammates recently in the past couple of races. Vlotchev Jr. is down in the first sector by 0.06 of a second there, so he has become a cropper on his lap time. Rise Star out there again on the soccer pod tyres, but I think he's, already done 2 laps, so it's a 26.0 there. Elite in the Aston Martin, though, is 0.2 up, 1 second down, never mind. I think he just finished the lap time, didn't he? So he's down there in P7, and this is his in-lap then, so expect him to see the pit lane at the end of this lap. So far, that's been the story, hasn't it, this season? Ferrari versus Alpine with a bit of Harry Kane in the mix too, and Rising Star. The narrative this season, sometimes Lourdes and Glock are in there too, but Lourdes unfortunately isn't here, neither is Glock. I know the attendance hasn't been that spectacular in the last couple of races, but I really hope it does improve because we deserve SFR to keep going. It was on the uprise from season 13 upwards, but it has had a bit of a downward spiral so far, hasn't it, with the game, etc., with people losing motivation to race and with people having other commitments too. So I really hope that SFR does get back to the way before. Adams in P13 hasn't set a lot of time just yet in the Mercedes, a former Division 2 driver. And I'm sure he doesn't want me to mention this, but he did win the Miami Grand Prix last season in Division 2, but unfortunately lost it due to post-race penalties. And with those penalties, it pushed him down as a P2 or P3, so he didn't win the race, unfortunately. That was with Klusler, who won that. He didn't win, did he, Klusler? It was somebody else who won that Grand Prix in Division 2. That was a long time ago. It could have been Burmeister, I think. Yeah, Burmeister, I think, won the Grand Prix last season. But the drivers are in the pit lane then, except this man, Yoram, who's currently on a flying lap in the Mercedes. His teammates right behind him on our lap 2. As we now swoop towards this first sector, we go in towards 7th gear, down towards 6th as well. Some people like to ever out through 5th gear. It depends on what your preference is, as you really want to try and hook the apex, but That's still okay. Not the perfect line through there at all, but some people do struggle with a bit of understeer too. The car just not rotating as they would like, as the DRS now opens up on towards the back straight. Use the battery as we head down towards turn 11, braking hard, and down to the gears he goes in towards second, clip the apex very nicely as we now just work on traction through here. It's very easy, a massive wheel spin and lose the car just like that. Didn't have any wheel spin, but you could definitely tell the car was definitely on the knife's edge. As we now head towards turn 16 we go, and that's very important as well to get a good exit out of there. He's currently 3/10 up in the sector, but even though Sam is about 4/10 ahead of him, so a couple of tenths for Yoram in this final sector for him would put him up the order if he can. Let's see how he does towards this heavy breaker zone in towards turn 17. Get the car rotated, then be patient with the throttle, but as you can see, he's headed back in the pit lane. Not overall satisfied with that lap time, as we watched Mercedes in the pit lane too. That's an outlap there from Adams. He was on an outlap, but in the pit lane, so I wonder if the Mercedes man has a qualifying ban. The Scotsman of Adams, a quiet man in the community, but very nice to talk to indeed, is the Mercedes. And on his day, a very quick driver too, especially what we've seen in Division 2 so far, with odd races where he does capitalise and does show some promising pace indeed. Right, we've got Jensen out there, we've got Samuel out there in the Mercedes, Alpine and Williams, and we've got a couple more people in the dying stage of qualifying. But whilst this is going on, with a bit of null in the session, we need to talk about Monza, because we haven't really spoke about last week's race. So, last week at Monza, Jensen reasserted his dominance with another brilliant win, his 4th win of the season, and extended his championship lead to 138 points. And behind him, Mo and Nemo continues to apply pressure with 126. I didn't realise how close he was, Mo and Nemo, with very much in the hunt after another strong finish in Monza, despite the tyre disadvantage. Fireblaze is also in tight contention on 121 points, with Velocio Jr. close behind on 119, having struggled in convert qualifying pace into big race results lately. Special mention has gone to Hurricane as well, who is now 6th in the Drivers' Championship with 83 points and back-to-back podiums with Saudi Arabia and Monza. Momentum is now clearly building for the McLaren driver, slowly but surely. And in the Constructors' battle, it's Alpine out front with 259, and Ferrari is only 14 points back with 245. And Kick Sauber isn't far behind with 173. There's still plenty to play for, but both Kick Saubers are here. And we're now live watching Jensen with about 45 seconds left to go on the clock, as we now swoop towards this first sector. We go down to the gears again, and let's see how he does in this first sector. Not too bad, as can he hook the apex? Well, a bit of an offline there, a bit too wide there for Jensen's liking, and he didn't get the exit he needed. He's 2/10 down. Jensen is 2/10 down, unfortunately. He did pull the trigger quite early too. That's it. I don't think he can go for another lap time for Jensen. This might not be pole for him, but can he still recover the time? We know Jensen's very good at clawing time back, and I wonder, can he do that? He got a bit deep, and yeah, that's a very scruffy approach in towards the second sector, unfortunately. So that lap time up there, unfortunately, has been ruined, and he hits the water on the outside. Who did that in the race? Was it Sebastian Vettel who did that in the race? Clipped the one on the outside, got a puncher? I'm not quite sure who it was. Somebody got a puncher there really recently, didn't they? But I can't remember who it was. But unfortunately, Jensen is down, and that's his qualifying done and dusted. Mo and Nemo is absolutely flying. Here he comes now. Through towards turn 8 and turn 9 we go. Back of the power once again, and a 10th down too. So a few drivers lose a bit of time there on the flying laps. Fireblaze is 9 thousandths down in the first sector. He's in the hunt for pole position. Can he keep it nice and tidy? Can he find any more lap time? As we now head towards turn 16 we go. Let's see, his middle split is going to be just 0.3 of a second quicker there, as Jensen has pitted. Then his qualifying has ended prematurely, unfortunately for him. But we've got the two Racing Bull drivers now coming towards the line. Let's see what those two could do, as we see Fireblaze headed down in towards the final braking zone we go, as we see Yusufu go up into P9, Rise of Star goes up into P5, as we see Fireblaze out of the final couple of corners. Let's see what the Dutchman could do as he crosses the line. It is pole! Fireblaze on pole by 1,000th of a second, and Mo and Nemo is down in the middle sector by 2/10. I don't think he can recover this. Let's see what he does as he makes his way now towards the line. He goes, it's P2, and not an improvement. Fireblaze is on pole position. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, and that lap time is 1,000ths quicker then Nemo in P2, Hurricanes P3 with a 25.496, but Fireblade the Dutchman is on pole position. Can he finally convert it in towards a win? For the first time since 2 seasons ago. That was his last win in Mexico. Nemo once again in the second place there for him in the Ferrari. And Fireblades is on pole as well for the first time since season 16, I believe it was. So it's been quite a long time since Fireblades has had pole position. He's finally got it. He has finally done it. In fact, it might be his first pole position in SFR. It is. It's his first pole. Look at the top 4 separated by under 900 of a second. But there it is then, a new pole sitter. Fireblades P1 ahead of Nemo. Hurricanes P3 ahead of Jensen, Floccio Jr. P5 ahead of Rising Star, Elite Summit, Yusuf Farouk, Yoram, MDJ, Burmeister, and Adams in P30. Fires as we now head in towards the race. Rain in Miami. You definitely heard that right. Welcome to a wet and wild round 9 of the season 18 here at the Miami Grand Prix, and it's going to be anything but normal with tricky conditions on the circuit. The skies have opened up over the Magic City and the rain has turned this already into an unforgiving street circuit into a slippery nightmare, with precision, patience and bravery are going to be the key ingredients for today, as it's already a difficult circuit. And the leading charge is Fireblaze back on pole after a lecture lap in qualifying. He's been searching for a win since season 16. Could this be finally the day he turns the tide under treacherous conditions? Lined up behind him is Nemo, only 1,000 off pole. He'll be desperate to reclaim the championship lead after recent setbacks. Hurricane starts at P3 with momentum behind him after his first podium in Saudi. And championship leader Jensen is right there in P4, hunting his 5th win of the season with the Alpine rocket ship. The Miami circuit is hard enough in the dry, tight walls, blind apexes and sharp traction zones. Now thrown into rain, standing water and zero margin for error, this race has just become a survival test for the fittest. Sector 2, especially through the twisting chicane, will be driving on ice literally. Visibility shouldn't be too bad, especially in the intermediate conditions, but drivers might misjudge the braking zones and could potentially go for a move and go off the track. Tyre management, EMS conservative and reacting to dry or worse track conditions will define winners and losers, so very important to get a strategy absolutely key because it could be a try towards the end of the Grand Prix. With multiple title contenders starting near the front and the championship incredibly tight, this might be the most pivotal race of the season so far here in Miami, especially under the conditions here. The rain is falling, the tension is rising, 25 laps of pure drama awaits us in Miami. Fireblaze leads the way and lights out very shortly in the wet. "13 drivers line up on the grid ready for this race, and 2 drivers have been disqualified already. Let's see what happens going down in towards turn 1. It could be prone for chaos here, like Hamilton, Stroll and Alonso in the sprint race before. Norris and Nick de Vries in towards turn 1 in 2022 when there was carnage there. Let's see what happens here. We are underway for the Miami Grand Prix, and let's see who gets a better start off the line. It is Fireblaze who leads them as we head down in towards turn 1. There's contact already as we head down in towards the first corner. Mo and Nemo taps the back of Fireblaze as we continue to go through turn 2 and turn 3. Drivers struggling for traction as Hurricane is fighting with Jensen. Jensen alongside has better grip. Now the wheel to wheel out of turn 3, heading towards the first sector. Which driver is going to yield first? Hurricane gets muscles out and stays up until P3. Mo and Nemo struggling there. Hurricane just hit the back of him and almost sent him into a spin, but luckily as here comes Rising Storm to the inside on his former teammate, well, not his former teammate, sorry, as we now go side by side out of turn 9 we go. It's a fight for traction and Rising Star gets on the throttle better. He's ahead of Jensen and behind him is the Ferrari driver of Electric Jr. These guys all in the slipstream of each other as we head down towards turn 9 we go. Let's see what happens in towards the braking zone. Down the inside goes the Ferrari on Jensen, but Jensen just brakes a little bit later, goes deep in the corner, and that allows the RB to stay through. And here comes the Ferrari around the outside, but contact's been made. He's been too wide in that corner, and Jensen, 2 drivers just hit the wall there. That was Jensen and Raz Star, quite reminiscent of what he did in qualifying just a couple of moments ago. But so far, Fireblaze is leading this Grand Prix in first place. Mo and Nemo can't keep up with him. No DRS either in this Grand Prix due to the wet conditions, so that will be activated to help the drivers carry more speed down the straights as we head towards the braking zone for the first time. Hurricane's getting so close, he sees more confidence in the McLaren in comparison towards Mo and Nemo, who seems like he's struggling in the early stages of the Grand Prix. Fireblaze, though, is in the dream, currently in the Grand Prix. 1.2 seconds is the gap between himself and Mo and Nemo, whilst Hurricane sitting backwards. So it's been a clean start so far, except from what happened to the Williams of Burmeister, who was in the wall, or was it Samid? I'm not quite sure, but one of the Williams drivers faced the wall. Hopefully don't have any damage. I think they got away with it just scot-free there. And they continue as they are. As you can see, drivers squirming around, trying to find a grip around the circuit, trying to adapt to these conditions as quickly as they can, because it does seem very, very treacherous. Not treacherous enough, but still low grip conditions. And the drivers just need to find the absolute edge. Look at Fireblaze, the gap is 2 seconds there between himself and Mo and Nemo. That's the buffer he needs to build up and break away from his pack. It's the absolute dream start he needs so far. And Mo and Nemo is left in the clutches of Hurricane and Rising Star and Jensen too, for good measure. Jensen lost the place towards Rising Star as he went up the inside in the first sector and made a audacious lunge, but made it work. and now he's up into P4. Jensen's dropping backwards though, falling in the clutches of Velocio Jr. in P6, sorry. So Jensen seems like he's the one struggling so far in the Grand Prix, and there he is in the background with the Ferrari right behind him too. So the championship leader is on the back foot here, and Velocio Jr. is about to take advantage at any given moment as well. Here we go, down towards the back straight. The benefit for Jensen is there's no DRS for the guys behind, so that's the benefit he has so far, but it looks like he's lacking confidence, lacking grip around here, whilst his teammate is having all the glory in first place. But Fireblaze, even though he's in first place, he's been desperate to win for such a long time, not just in SFR, but in other leagues. It's been such a long time since Fireblaze has won, and let me tell you this, Hubby wanted to win the Grand Prix. He's been sick of picking up P2s and P3s every single time. He really wants to win, and now he's in first place, but he can't afford to relax. He's got to make sure he keeps the car on the track, making sure he keeps it within the boundaries of the white line, so not making any mistakes, not getting penalties, because that'll be a race ender there for him if he picks up penalties. That'll be detrimental. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. That'll be detrimental for him in the Grand Prix. So even though he's leading, got a comfortable gap so far, concentration is 100% high and needs to keep it going all the way through, making sure he nails every single apex, the braking zones, the acceleration, making sure he has tyre life as well, making sure he doesn't take too much tyres out as well in the first part of the Grand Prix, as Adams is right at the back of Burmeister as we head down in towards the braking zone. It will be a little bit of a boring race because, of course, it's a bit difficult to follow and overtake. The dirty air is damaging enough for these drivers, you can feel it, but here in the wet conditions, it's just so difficult to overtake, especially with no DRS either. But Hurricane and Rise of Star are close together on the track. Here we go then. So did Hurricane make a mistake out of turn 15, I think, or 16, sorry, and here comes Rise of Star, but he ducks back in the slipstream and stays behind him for the time being. They are dropping Jensen. The gap is 1.3 seconds then, as Jensen's losing time, and Velocio Jr. though looking to go under and over, but I think he went wide himself. I don't think he went to make that move. I think he just outbroke himself, and therefore Jensen's able to pull a few car lengths ahead of him, keep it behind him for the time being. And Elite's right behind him too as we head down towards the first corner. Are we going to see the dry power tyres introduced into towards this Grand Prix? Because when it's inters, it's not really inters of the whole race, is it? Look at Elite there, sliding through in towards turn 2. Or 3, sorry, as we make our way now in towards the fast first sector, but of course it's so difficult to follow in the dirty air. The driver's just having a hard time finding limits on this track. Look at that, you can see a massive stop there from President Elite as well. I wonder as well, will it be inters towards dries? What time will it start raining? Because it could be a moment where it could be like a Zandvoort situation or China situation where the drivers will have to save tyres. Don't take too much out of the first stint and save towards the end, because you don't want to do into dry, if it makes sense. So I think the drivers know what the conditions are like due to the weather radar they have. I know it's not 100% accurate at all times, as these two swap places there. Yarum goes up into P9 ahead of MDJs at the top 10. Burmeister and Adams P2 and P3, or P1 and P3 in the Drivers' Championship in season 16 I think it was, because Adams did struggle in season 17 in Division 2. They're running together in P11 and P12, but Adams is right behind the Williams man, and he might fancy a lunge up the inside in towards the final breakers. There we go, and he does. He puts himself up into P11. Not yet though, because Burmeister is still fighting back as we now go wheel to wheel in towards the breakers. So Fireblaze is now the quickest man on the track, as you can see, with a new quickest lap time in the race with a 39.9. It looks like it's stopped raining, folks, so my prediction, it's early in the Grand Prix, not later on in the Grand Prix. So drivers now have to think about strategy and when is the best time to pit for these guys as well. And what is the tyre going to be? Is it going to be hard towards the end of the Grand Prix, avoid the mediums? And what... Oh, Hurricane goes deep, but not deep enough. I thought Rise of Star will be all over the back of him as soon as he made that mistake. But these drivers are fighting for conditions now. The tyres may be overheating, as it is becoming a dry track, of course. Inters do overheat quite quickly. They can't withstand the dry compound, the dry surface as well. They overheat so quickly. And Rise of Star is about to overtake Fireblaze at Hurricane as we head down towards the breaker zone. He stays behind for the time being then, as Hurricane looks like he's struggling so far in the McLaren. Jensen's not really catch up either, and Velocio Jr. is trying to overtake Jensen, but a bit too far back, and he himself makes mistakes as well. It's just so difficult to overtake somebody in the wet conditions, to find the grip as well, making sure you don't lose the balance of the car as we now head on towards the back straight. This is the main place to overtake, but of course there's no DRS to help you. It's all about straight line speed and setup, and when you run in similar setups, it's just so difficult. The driver ahead just carries the same speed as you, only with a few more kph, which is not big enough to try and overtake the guy ahead of you. Not much of a straight line speed advantage either. That's why DRS is so important. And Hurricane's pitted. He's the first one to pit, and Jensen's pitted too. Fireblaze stays out there for the time being, so let's see if the hard compound tyres, if the drives are better, as the drivers get to work on the car, or should I say the team gets to work on the car. And let's see if this is the right call. Is this the moment to switch on to the hard medium compound tyres? Hurricane's gone hard, Jensen's gone medium compound tyres there, so let's see. The mediums will heat up faster, of course. Oh, Hurricane almost drops to the pit lane there. It still looks a bit slippery on the surface. I don't think it's time just yet. The drivers have to call around for grip, of course. This is the hardest compound tyre, and he's struggling for traction, struggling for grip. So, has he pulled the trigger a bit too early? Doesn't look good out there, does it? I think it's a bit, 1 or 2 laps a bit too early. The track does look like grippy and slippery. Let's have a look to see what the gap to leader is. 24.5, so let's use that as a reference point. They're losing time, I think, only slightly though, not too much. But I think Fireblaze might have to respond on this lap. Let's see if the Dutchman does. He's been so controlled, so calm so far, but now it's dry conditions. He might think about going onto the hard medium compound tyres, depends what he wants to do, of course. Oh, Jensen goes deep and off the track there. Oh, struggling for traction, struggling for grip is Jensen. He's really fighting with that car. And I think this might give the Ferrari of Velocio Jr. a chance to overtake him when he does a pit stop onto the dry compound tyre. So these guys are pitting way too early as the conditions are not 100% just yet. There's still green. Fireblaze, slow it down, slow it down. He does slow it down, thankfully. I was hoping he didn't get a penalty. But now we're going to see fast laps coming in thick and fast as Velocio Jr. now has set a 37.9. That's the second quicker than his teammate, of course, in P2. Oh, Hurricane in the braking zone, goes deep, and so does Jensen there. Narrowly missing the wall there. They're taking a lot of grip out of their tyres too, for good measure as well. Where does Fireblaze rejoin? He rejoins well ahead in P5, but now he's got to be careful, making sure he doesn't lose the car at all. He needs to make sure he keeps it in control, not push too hard, not overdo it, not overdrive it. He's got a cuttable gap over Fireblaze, Rise to Star and Hurricane, and Jensen behind as well. So don't push too hard in these early stages. Find the grip, feel the car. Let the tyres warm up and heat up, then find the grip. The last thing he needs to do. Oh, look at that. Hurricane's overtaking Rise to Star, so Rise to Star is struggling. He just came in the pit lane too, did Rise to Star. He got the undercut on Hurricane. But Hurricane has re-overtaken back for P6. So you expect Jensen to be quicker than these two, being on the medium compound tyre, because it is the mediums and they do move quicker and do have more grip in the early stages of this race, but it's not the case so far. Jensen, he's still behind. Oh, look at that, just really struggling. DRS is enabled then, so looks like Fireblaze is pitted at the right time, while Jensen continues to struggle in these corners. Of course, Jensen is looking for his 5th win of the season, looking to extend his stint in the Drivers' Championship, his winning streak so far. We've got a lead right behind too, so good pace for President Leeds. He's right behind, and Moe Nemo has stayed out. Oh, what's happened to Velocio Jr.? He just smashed the pit lane speed limiter. But why has Moe Nemo stayed out there? Has this been another blunder of a strategy? It said DRS is enabled, and he has stayed out there for one more lap, so it could be another blunder there from Moe Nemo in first place. As Jensen now is the quickest in the midi compound tyres. It's definitely dry compound tyres, but which one? As now Salmon now goes quickest in the Alpine. Oh, look at this. A battle in towards turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3. Here we go. All side by side of the pit lane. And President Elite just gets ahead. But look at this. President Elite is so quick as well. Better grip than the Alpine driver. Alpine is struggling. The McLaren is absolutely struggling there as well. So is the Alpine. As President Elite seems super quick as well in this stage of the Grand Prix. Jensen goes a bit deep. Or President Elite goes too acute in towards the corner. He turned in way too early there, gave him the cute line, and therefore didn't get the release he needed out of the corner to get towards Jensen. So a bit compromised there was the Aston Martin driver. As we can see, Jensen in the back of Hurricane. Let's see if he does the overtake, and he does. He puts himself up into P4, so it looks like he's been compound tyres have finally started to work. A bit too late there for Jensen, I dare say. Not too late, but of course, not soon enough. So let's see how the strategy works. Hurricane just hit the wall in the entry as well, so luckily for him, didn't lose his wing. But the DRS will be enabled on the back straight, of course. So let's see if President Elite decides to make a lunge. Use the battery, of course. So Jensen might get swapped to the straight. The DRS is wide open for both of them behind him. And let's see if Hurricane or President Elite strikes on one another as we head down towards the breaker. So massive overspeed with that DRS as President Elite stays behind for the time being third in that DRS train. He's not hoping his cause whatsoever being stuck there. As Fireblaze continues to do another fast lap. He is so comfortable right now. And why is Moe Nemo stayed out there for? Bit of bizarre strategy going on for Moe Nemo, unless he's trying to avoid the second stop. And Hurricane hits the back of him. And will President Elite try and go up in towards 5th place, the side by side, and he goes through. President Elite goes up into P5 there, but not how he wanted to because he lost a bit of time towards Jensen. So Elite's up into P5, but with a bit of a time loss there for him, unfortunately, because he went deeper towards turn 1. So Moe Nemo there, probably in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, the Ferrari strategy definitely not working there for Moe Nemo. It's like Silverstone's situation where Leclerc's on the hard compound tyres while it's Inter's. It's like Pierre Gasly back in the Hockenheim Grand Prix where he's on the wet compound tyres. Look at this. Hurricane's under massive pressure. Here comes Velocio Jr. now up the inside, but contact, and through he goes. He takes up both of them. Wow. So President Elite went out wide and Velocio Jr. says, thank you very much, I go through. And he did. He goes up into P5. That was a lovely move. I think there's a bit of contact between Hurricane and President Elite. That's why Elite had to go a bit deeper towards the corner. And now the Ferrari driver takes advantage of him. He puts himself up into P5. Do you know what? Let's get back to leader down to interval because we don't really need the gap to leader do anymore. So Fireblaze definitely in a good position to win the Grand Prix. But look at this. Moe Nemo. What is his strategy? Is he trying to do a one-stop strategy by doing Inter hard towards in the Grand Prix, avoiding the second stop? Because some people will definitely struggle to do a one-stop strategy. The likes of President Elite, Samid and Jensen. Those tyres won't go too long. The hardcore part tyres will, but it's all about can they make it towards in the Grand Prix. I think for Fireblaze, he hasn't got too much to worry about because he does have a gap behind. So if he does struggle with tyres, then I think that he could pit and still be joined way ahead of the other people. So it's in his hands for Fireblaze. I really hope, for his sake, this goes well. Plain sailing. He doesn't need any contact or drama in the Grand Prix, especially what happened in the last few races. He seems to be the unlucky driver, but can that curse finally break? It's just like in Lando Norris, wasn't it? Who won the Miami Grand Prix in 2024. And here comes Hurricane and Elite once again scrapping away for P6, and Hurricane this time gets ahead. So it looks like Hurricane, they're struggling for grip on the hard compound tyres. He looked like he was in a comfortable spot at one point, but he's just dropping backwards. I think he is struggling there. And the McLaren just can't find any sort of purchase. And he's dropped well backwards. He was in a hunt for a podium, but unfortunately just seems to be slipping away. And Velocio Jr. too, up into P5, has tremendous pace in the Ferrari and seems to be a threat. And he's putting the pressure on Jensen, who's putting the pressure on Rise to Star in front of him. Rise to Star under massive pressure. It looked like Rise to Star had good pace in the first stint, but dropping back slightly and in the clutches of Jensen and Velocio Jr., who now sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and Fireblaze is 3.4 behind. Moe Nemo is still going on those intermediate compound tyres. I wonder if he's trying to make the one-stop work by doing the inters for a while, then go on to the hard compound tyres. Could he make it work? I think the guys behind, like Jensen, Elite, Samid has to pit, so it could play into Moe Nemo's hands, but he's losing a pocket full of time. It's the Ferrari driver, and he's 1.8 seconds ahead of Fireblaze as well, who's catching him at a rate or not. So it could work, maybe a podium could be in the cards, but it all depends on other people if they can make the tyres to go towards in the Grand Prix. You know, tyre life is a killer around here, very high indeed in the streets of Miami, especially the first sets where you take a lot of your tyres, take a load out of your tyres, especially the right front of the car. You got heavy braking zones, you got heavy traction zones too, for good measure. Long back straight too. And Farblaze is in the DRS range. I didn't even know Havish was here. I didn't even know he joined the session, so I didn't quite see that. But Farblaze, the main important thing for him to do is just overtake him. That's it. Don't do anything stupid. Don't make contact with him. Jed's up into P3 now ahead of Rising Star. But Farblaze, oh, never mind. He's in the pit lane, so that's quite easy there for Farblaze. I've seen before in certain scenarios where a quicker drive behind on better tyres and better pace make contact with the guy ahead because of impatience. They don't think methodically. They overtake at the earliest possible moment, and I've seen it plenty of times before, and it really ruins and destroys a driver's race. And you think in hindsight and look back thinking, why did I have to make that move for? It's so frustrating too as a commentator, because you really want to see a driver do well, but sometimes they make a very stupid mistake, and that's when things get out of hand. But Farblaze is safe up into P1. I don't mean to be biased here, but I wanted to win this race. I really do want to win this race. If he doesn't, then I'm going to be absolutely fuming. I don't care what anybody says. I want him to win this Grand Prix. After I promise you, after this race, I'll be unbiased again. But Farblaze, he hasn't won in a league race for such a long time. And Rising Star's coming back with Jedson there, who's on the mini-compound tyres, don't forget. He's gone wide too in turn 11. It's now P1 too, by the way. Jedson P2, 8.6 behind. But yes, I really hope this man wins the Grand Prix. The reason why is the backstory behind this. He hasn't won a race for such a long time in any division at all, or any league, shall I say. And here comes the Ferrari behind the racing ball. Here we go then with the DRS wide open. It's a battle for P4 and P3. Here comes Velocio Jr. with a straight line speed against the racing ball as we head down towards the breaking zone we go. Both learn the brakes, but Velocio Jr. has the inside line and he gets ahead. What a lovely move. That was superb there. Nice control on the brakes too. Didn't go out wide, but might have to defend because Rising Star is coming back with the DRS on him in towards turn 1, but doesn't go for a move. Great pace so far from the Ferrari driver of Velocio Jr. And I dare say he was a driver to look out for back in Monza. He didn't really capitalise, did he? Oh no, you're joking, aren't you? I did not notice this. Oh, Moe Nemo has forgot to put it to the hard compound tyres. He's doing a second stop. I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. Look at that. Have a look at this. Into hard. Oh, Moe Nemo has blown it. Why is he in first place? I don't know what's going on here. But he's definitely a lap down, not a lap down, but in last place. There he is. He rejoins in first place, well ahead. That's a massive gap he's got behind, hasn't he? He's in towards sector 1, while Farblaze is in towards the middle sector. So, good job there for Moe Nemo. He's well ahead. But oh, what a shame for Moe Nemo. Oh, I was doubtful his strategy was going to work anyway. A bit skeptical about his strategy in the first place by Inter to hard. It seemed like it was a smart thing to do because other people might struggle towards in the Grand Prix. Therefore, he has a massive tyre delta towards in the Grand Prix because it is difficult to save tyres around here in Miami. But oh, you're just gonna feel sorry for him. It is a driver error. Don't get me wrong. It is a driver error, but sometimes in a high pressure situation, you forget, don't you? You just plain forget. Or what's going on here? The gap is 51 seconds. So. Is he the actual race leader? I don't know. I think he's the actual race leader, you know. Not in terms of in terms of the game bugging, that's what I mean. Not the actual race leader, but of course the game thinks he's the race leader. So, is he actually in first place? Oh my goodness me. Oh, what is wrong with this game, man? What is wrong with this game? I'm not quite sure what's going on, to be honest with you. He's crossed the line. The gap is 53 seconds. So for those people who have joined, Moe Nemo is not the actual race leader. He's not a lap down, but he's in last, if it makes sense. And for some reason, the game has put him into first place. This is absolutely crazy. The code in this game is bizarre, absurd, ludicrous. I just can't believe it. I don't know if, for other drivers' perspective, if he actually is the race leader or not. Wow, what a twist. Imagine if Farblaze could get his first win because of that. That would be hilarious. But at the same time, I feel bad for him. He does deserve the win. He will win the Grand Prix because the game's coding is, unfortunately, wrong. It's just like the curse, the story of Fabulous life. He's in control of a Grand Prix, then all of a sudden the game glitches and puts Momo Nemo into first place. But this is a battle going off a P3. I wonder how long Jensen can take those tyres for. He's definitely doing a two-stop. There's no way Jensen could go towards the end on these mini compound tyres. They'll fall off dramatically. And the Ferrari will take a full advantage for P2 on the track. So it actually says Momo Nemo is in first place by 54.2 seconds. The game's coded. I just have no words for it at all. I'm absolutely speechless. I want to say things, but of course I can't. But yeah, Momo Nemo is first place ahead of Fireblazer Jensen Velocio Jr. by a milestone. He sets fast up as well of the Grand Prix. The gap is 54.5. Fireblaze has got a lot of catching up to do. But of course he can't do that with the tyre difference between himself and Momo Nemo. Burmeister has pitched penalty. How has the game done this, by the way? Like, what kind of glitch has caused this to happen? I've never seen this before in my life. I've never seen this glitch before. It's absolutely bizarre. But I think we all know that Fireblaze will be actually winning the Grand Prix. I think the stewards will do their thing and put Momo Nemo towards the back end of the field, the 13th place. So, yeah, I don't think Momo Nemo will actually win this Grand Prix if he does cross the line first towards the end of it, because, of course, he wasn't there to begin with. He was in last place, way further behind. He made a strategy mistake, then the gods put him up into first place. I don't know if Momo Nemo is actually himself. I don't know if he knows leading the Grand Prix or not. I'm not quite sure from their perspective. It could be different. And Jensen's in the pit lane. It could be my end messing up. I think it could be my end messing up, not them. Or it could be both. Or it could be either way. So I'm not going to make assumptions just yet. I'll make assumptions on lap 29 if he does cross the line to win the Grand Prix. But I won't mention him as the winner. So don't worry. I'm not going to take the glory away from Fireblaze. Yeah, for those people who have just joined, just to reiterate you and recap, Momo Nemo is not actually the race leader in first place. The game's coding has bugged and it's put him up into first place. He was way behind in last. He did a strategy blunder. He did inter hard when he should have done inter hard. He accidentally put on a new set of inters like Jensen did in Mexico in season 17, round 1. Jensen did the same thing. He's way down in 12th, isn't he? He's so far back. Right, so we're a bit spread out now. We've got a bit of a field spread going on. This is the close spot on the track between Samid and Yarvam. Samid and Elite on the mid-car power tyres. We expect them to pit very soon in the Grand Prix. Of course, Jensen can have a massive pace advantage, and he overtakes one racing bull. He puts himself up into P11. He's quite far back, isn't he? I think he could catch Rising Star. Oh, who's that gone off almost in the barriers? I think that's the last thing. He wants things to go plain sailing. He does not need a safety car in the Grand Prix. He doesn't need anything to mitigate his race. But Velocio Jr. running in P3 for the time being in second place, in net second place. Currently, Rising Star's under massive pressure from Hurricane. So those two haven't left each other alone. Rising Star and Hurricane. And Samid's right at the back of Yoram, but his midi compound tyre surely is coming towards the end of their life as they both pitted then and to go on the hard compound tyres. Right, so there is a bit of a field spread. Not much is going to happen until the latter stages with Jensen's offset tyres. So watch out for Jensen. He'll be the quickest man on the track by far, and it all depends where he can get up to. My prediction, where is he right now on the circuit? So there's Hurricane and Rising Star. Remember, this is a battle for P3. Don't forget. Everybody forget Momo Nemo because Fireblaze is first, Velocio Jr. is P2, and Rising Star is P3. So this is still a battle for the podium between these two. I think they know it as well. Here comes Hurricane. Side by side with him, going in towards the breaker zone, and an easy as you like pass. But of course, Rising Star will get the DS on the back of him on the next straight. But I think Hurricane has the EOS to fight against it and compel against it too, to stay in P3. He's had many fights in Miami before, has Hurricane for the podiums and the wins too. A big fight between himself and Hazara, which ended in contact and tears, as Hazara won the Grand Prix. Hurricane made contact with him going down towards the breaker zones a couple of seasons ago. I miss Hazara. He hasn't raced since, last season? So I really hope he does make a return. A popular character. Fireblaze is pitted. Wow. So his hardcore power tyres won't go towards the end. He feels safer by going on a new set of hardcore power tyres. And that's fair enough because he wants to make sure he wins the race in the best possible way. Hurricane. A 10-second time penalty for the McLaren driver who gets a penalty once again for speed in the pit lane, like he did a couple of races ago. Jensen's the quickest driver on the track by far by P5. There goes Fireblades up into P3 with a new set of hardcore powered tyres. So that really seals the deal now for Fireblades. Just keep the pace up, make sure you don't make any mistakes at all. Jensen's not too far away. The power of the undercut is really high, by the way. He was way far behind when he was like, what was he, 8 seconds behind Fireblades? And now he's like 3.67, so it's a massive time loss there. Fireblades rejoining P3 in clean air. That's the best thing he needs right now. And this gives him assurance, doesn't it? As here comes Jensen for P4. This gives Fireblades the assurance to win the Grand Prix. And knowing he has the best tyres and knowing that he has, well, everything he needs really. And Jensen's not too far away. The gap is like 3.5. Does Jensen have the pace to ruin Fireblades' day? So Fireblades might have to worry about Jensen because he's very quick. He's always super quick as Jensen, no matter what situation he's in. Like sometimes you think Jensen has no way to win the Grand Prix, then all of a sudden, bang! It's like Jeddah when he went off down in towards turn 27, the final corner. He went completely off the track, and he was way far behind. Then he pitted. Then the undercut was so powerful. He didn't undercut them, but he gained a lot of time on them. And that safety car came out too. And then he put the pressure on his teammate Hurricane that went on to win, despite being in P7 and far behind. Velocio Jr. has pitted too to get off the hardcore powered tyres. And let's see, I think it's a new set of hards. I think most people have done the harder strategy, which is like 3 sets of soft, 2 sets of hards, and 2 sets of the midi-core powered tyres, which is the safer option. The midi-core powered tyre not being the most favourable tyre. The hardcore powered tyres is the driver's favourites, of course, the most durable tyres, and the best tyres as well. So the gap is extended between Fireblades and Jensen, so that's 4.1. The gap was like 3 seconds a lap ago, so Fireblades is taking time on Jensen. This is in Fireblades' hands now. He's got the ball pot. It's all in his court right now to win the Grand Prix. Everything is right there in his hands. New sets of tyres go towards the Grand Prix. Don't have to worry about fuel, tyres, anything. Maybe a safety car. That could be the most worrying thing on Fireblades' mind right now. And also track limits too. Fireblades has got to make sure he pays attention to every single corner, every single apex is crucial as well. One lapse of concentration and focus, one mistake could lead to an infringement and a transgression for a penalty. So Fireblades needs to get his head down, keep the concentration high, and this is his to win the Grand Prix. Jensen will have the pace to catch up towards him. He's dropping backwards. And plus Fireblades does have a 2-lap difference in tyres as well, which makes a significant difference on this game. There were 2 Mercedes and MDJ, 4th, 5th and 6th place. Haven't really mentioned those guys yet so far in the Grand Prix, but they're currently running there. As MDJ is right behind with the DRS, but too far back to make a move, going down in towards the heavy braking zone. As we exit the final corner, as these two dive off the pit lane, this helps Velocio Jr. is able to break away. So Velocio Jr. was fighting Jensen, wasn't he? Now he's rejoined way far behind him. And he was ahead of Jensen before the pit starts, but that tells you the power of the undercut and Jensen's pace. Well, his raw pace was able to get him like 5 seconds ahead of Velocio Jr. So I don't think a bit of a tall order for the Ferrari driver to catch up towards the Alpine in terms of Jensen. It is nice and sunny here at the Miami Grand Prix, so a bit of a dull start turn into a bright sunny day towards the end. Sunshine has come out, grip conditions have got better, and Velocio Jr. is about to take away P4 from the Mercedes driver, quite easy. Take a candy from a baby, that one is, as he puts himself up into 4th place. DRS opens up and down, so I think he's saying thank you to the Mercedes there behind him, not putting too much of a fight. That's your biggest worry, isn't it, when you come against drivers on all the tyres? Like, if you catch them in the wrong place, like Qatar, the triple right-hander, or anywhere in the middle sector where it's like full of fast-flowing corners, you just nowhere to overtake. That's what you worry about so much, because you lose so much time in comparison towards other people. But catch them on the straight is the best thing ever, because you know that you have the DRS open, and you also know that they're not going to fight too hard either, because what's the point for them? They're not going to defend it. They have old tyres. There's no point defending it, otherwise you're jeopardising your own race. Some drivers will fight it. It's just their nature, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, it gives a bit of entertainment, but as Adams has pitted to go on to a new set of tyres, sometimes I do fight it, depends what situation I'm in. For example, if my teammate's ahead of me on new tyres, I might defend from the guy behind. They're not too hard though, because obviously that'd be unfair. But I try to do everything in a legal way to keep them behind me as much as I can before they go past me on new tyres. But in most circumstances though, people should let you through because we've seen incidents places before in SFR where drivers come together on new old tyres. And Burmeister has retired in the pit lane. That's the end of his Miami Grand Prix, and he's out, unfortunately. The first retirement in this Grand Prix, and we're down towards 12 people. I know it's been a bit of I won't say dull race, but a bit of a quiet race, I must say. Who's that Aston Martin there getting lapped? Is it Elite? Oh, I see what it... Mo and Nemo is ahead of President Elite, but I'm not quite... So basically, Mo and Nemo was behind President Elite after the pit stops. He was behind him, but now he's lapped him, and he's a ghosted car too, so this must be a bug and a glitch. I think the game thinks he's in first place. I think he's actually cemented into towards first place. I need Burmeister to confirm this, by the way, because Burmeister was in the Grand Prix, but now he's out of it. So I wonder if it says for him that Mo and Nemo is first. Yellow flags there in sector 1, but that shouldn't trouble anybody else. We're down towards 12 drivers to conclude this Miami Grand Prix. So far, it's been such a dominant drive for Fireblades. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him just yet, or at all, so I'm not going to say anything for him. And Jensen's in P3 looking for his 5th win of the season, but I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him either, but yeah, can Jensen do it? He's got good pace, good talent, good skills, and he's trying to hunt down his teammate as well. The gap's not really extended like I thought it'd be, because the gap was like 4 seconds at one point, now it's 3.6, so Fireblaze might have to watch out for Jensen behind him. The gap is slowly but surely coming down a little bit. It's just going towards 3.6 now. So the Alpines are trading lap times there. And Volochev Jr. in P4 was on the podium for a... Oh, he just hit the wall there. Did you hear that? The sound effects of that. It seemed like he smashed into the wall, but luckily he has come out unscathed and hasn't broken his end plate. And what's going on between the Racing Bull and Red Bull? Yeah, exactly. So Burmeister, now you're in the chat, mate. What did it say to you? Did it say Mo and Nemo was in first place whilst you were racing? Because I'm not quite sure if it was my end that was messing up or the game itself messing up. So if you noticed, did it say for you that Mo and Nemo was leading the Grand Prix? Because this has become a bug so far in this game, a very bizarre, weird bug I've never seen before at all. I've seen bizarre things and weird things, but this one takes it to a new level. As these two there trade places in the Mercedes camp. And here comes Yusuf Farouk versus MDJ. Down he goes in towards the final breaking point, and he gets ahead. He puts himself up into P11. And MDJ currently runs in last place there in the Red Bull. Lap 24 29, we're coming towards the dying stages of this Grand Prix. It's been a great one so far. It may have not been actually packed like I thought it'd be, but it's nonetheless though. Sometimes we can't always have exciting races. MDJ went a bit wide out of turn 1 there, but luckily did not hit the wall. There he is. I'm not going to put the spotlight on him. I'm not going to put the pressure on him at all in the race. I'm going to leave him be, and I really hope for his sake he doesn't make any mistakes at all. It's squeaky clean in terms of warnings there. Fireblaze can afford one more warning, and after that it will be a 3-second penalty then. So Fireblaze has got one more card to play. And Jensen there in P3 pushing as hard as he can, trying to get towards Fireblaze. The gap, his pace has been so good so far. It keeps hovering around 3.5 to 3.7, so he's definitely pushing quite hard to try and get towards his teammate. His last lap was 29.7. Let's see Fireblaze's last lap. It was a 30.1 Jensen's gain. So Fireblaze might have to watch out. He's on younger tyres. Should have better grip towards the end of the Grand Prix. But Jensen's there. Not giving up just yet. This is what I love about Jensen as well. Like every single situation he's in, he just managed to find a way out of it. And still has a chance to win the Grand Prix despite not being there in the first place. If you know what I mean. He just always finds a way to come back through all the time. That's Jensen's specialities. Like, for example, you think that he has no chance to win the Grand Prix, but all of a sudden he has a chance to win a bit. And you may be thinking, well, Jamie, he does have a chance to win the Grand Prix because Mo and Nemo is 1 minute ahead. That's a bug, that's a glitch. He's not 1 minute ahead. It's Fireblaze leading with Jensen P2. That's the order. There was a glitch of the pit lane where Mo Nemo was asserted up to first place. But that's not the actual order, so don't worry about that one. I would love to be leading by 1 minute ahead, be absolutely dominant, but that's not the case. By the way, guys, I'm in dire need. I should have gone while I was qualifying. I'm in dire need of the toilet right now, plus there's no safety cars or VSCs, and plus there's no co-commentator, so I will go to the toilet. If I miss anything, I apologise. I'll be trying... Oh, Jed's gone deep, though. I think he has. Yes, he has. The gap's gone to 4.2, so he's lost a lot of time there, Jed, so that's a second lost in one corner. I'm glad I didn't miss that, but I'm going to go to the toilet right now. I'll be trying to be back with you as quick as I can. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. The gap is still 4.2, so but watch out for the man in P4 or P3, shall I say, Velocio Jr. He's been taking chunks of time out of Jensen's advantage. So on younger tyres, he could be a threat, you know, for Jensen's P2, and the Alpines could find themselves 1 and 3. He's been on the charge slowly but surely. There is 3 laps left to go in this race, so it might be a bit of a stretch for him to catch him. It is a stretch, but I wonder, could Velocio Jr. do it? The gap is 2.9 between Velocio Jr. and Jensen. The closest battle so far is these two, and that is Elite who's getting laps, is it? He's a ghosted car for some reason. Has he left the session? I think he's left. Oh dear me, he has left the session unfortunately, so that's him out of the equation. Fireblaze can start to breathe a little bit now because he knows that there's a chance for a safety car can no longer be deployed. It's going to be plain sailing for him. The only thing that can go wrong now, if he picks a penalty, but still he'll win the race because that gap's over 3 seconds. It's all down to him now to bring it home. Forget about this man in P1 because it's not P1. He's a lot down, I think. All the attention will go towards Fireblaze, I'm sure of it, of course. I'll try and make sure I cover Fireblaze, but he just needs to bring it home. His chance of winning is there on the table. He needs to make sure he leaves no crumbs behind. He makes sure doesn't make any sort of mistake, because it'll be quite absurd now to make a mistake. He's done all the hard work in the early part of the Grand Prix, pulled away when he needed to, and he just needs to bring it home. No mistake whatsoever from him. He starts lap 28, I think. So Mo and Nemo will start lap 29 in the Ferrari. I want to make sure I don't miss this, just in case. So I think Mo and Nemo will start. Let me have a look to see what lap that was for Fireblaze. So that was lap 27. So he's on 28 right now. Mo and Nemo is on the final lap of the Grand Prix, but he will not win this Grand Prix. He's on the final lap of the race, but all eyes go towards Fireblaze in P2. Quite bizarre. I don't even know where Mo and Nemo is right now on the track, realistically. I don't know where he is. It could be where is he? It could be P6 or P7 right now. But I'm waiting for Fireblaze to start the final lap so we can talk about him and give the spotlight to him as well. He thoroughly deserves this man, and I can't wait to see what he's got to say in the podium interviews. All the hard work has been complete. There's no need to push the limits no more. No need to try and break the gap. Just bring the car home, and he's done it. Here we go. One more lap. Just one more lap now stands between Fireblaze and a moment he's been chasing for almost 2 seasons here in SFR and elsewhere in other leagues. He's led this race from pole in incredible tricky conditions, managed the rain, the nerves and the pressure, but this is where it all matters now. No mistakes as he swoops through this first sector where the tyres are punished. Mo and Nemo's won, but we won't class that. We're watching Fireblaze right now because this is his moment. He's led it from start to finish. This isn't just a race win for Fireblaze, this is personal. Fireblaze has suffered more heartbreaks than most people in this league and elsewhere too. Runner-up after runner-up after runner-up, so many close calls, so many podiums, but not the top stay. He's been so close, but yet so far has Fireblaze in every single occasion here in SFR. His last win was Mexico season 16, and that was a long time ago when he was a rookie back at SFR. But he exits turn 1, he exits the final couple of corners very nicely as well. 2 years, that's how long it's been for Fireblaze. It's been 2 years. He navigates the final sector. Every apex he hits, every breaking zone he masters. The Alpine is gliding now. This is the lap of the champion in waiting. Down the final straight. And the crowd rises, the chat explodes. This is the drive of redemption, the win of relief, the victory of a man who never gave up. Fireblaze rounds the final corner. After all the pain, the pressure and the persistence, Fireblaze wins the Miami Grand Prix. He has done it. His first win since season 16. And what a way to do it. Pole position, wet weather and a masterclass under the lights of Miami. A new chapter begins tonight for Fireblaze. He's back and he's a race winner once more. Fantastic for Fireblaze. Well done. Jensen finishes in P3, Felucci in P4, and here comes the rest of the field with Fireblaze in P5, Rise Start P5, and Hurricane in 6th place. But last, Fireblaze on the top step of the podium once again. Congratulations for the Alpine driver. I'm so happy for him. Have a look at this. Look at this. That's the fastest lap I've ever seen. 2.2 seconds. That is the quickest lap time I've ever seen in my life. He didn't even do a first or second sector. They used the flash, really, wasn't he? He had no first or second sector. Only a third sector, which was 2 seconds. Don't know how he did that, but a rocket ship over the rest of the guys there. So relieved for Fireblaze. It's not the way I want to see it though. You know what I mean? It doesn't hit hard when it says second, even though he's won. So, yeah, P2. But still, he's still the winner in my eyes. Come on, Fireblaze, join the party, mate. I'm waiting for you. And Jensen, and Velocio Jr. Get yourself in here, Fireblaze, and we could celebrate together for the first time since Mexico, season 16. Even though I wasn't commentating that day, so it's my first time commentating your victory in any sort of league. So I'm glad to see it happen. I don't know what's taking him so long. There he is. Fireblaze. What a guy.
Yo.
What a driver. Just waiting for the others to join. As you know, we start from P3 upwards, so just waiting for those two. I'm not quite sure where Jensen is right now. He was with you in the party earlier on, but he's here now. And we don't really hear from Velocio Jr. either. He doesn't really come join the podium interviews, so I think we can start from P2 upwards. Jensen Randall, welcome back to the podium, mate. It may not be your fifth one this season, but you continue your podium streak, and also you can continue Fireblaze, invite Velocio Jr. for me, please. And you also continue your podium streak as well, and your points tally in at the championship. So congratulations, mate, on a P2. And it was a bit of a struggle for you, wasn't it, in the first in the Grand Prix? You just dropped backwards, you went to the clutches of P5 and P6, and all of a sudden, you found pace in the second stint and got yourself back up in second place. So are you happy with the result? It is an LP1 too, by the way, so you must be ecstatic with the result you achieved today.
Yeah, it's a great result today. I mean, I didn't really expect much today, Miami. It's not really one of my favourite tracks, but... Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Are you alive?
Sorry, I was just sorry about that. But no, yeah, it was alright. I didn't really expect to have much pace in the race, but I don't know, in the wet, obviously Fireblaze was pulling away quite comfortably, and saw it was drying up. I was struggling for pace in the wet, but I saw it was drying up. I tried going for the wet patches, but I didn't see any spray, so I just decided to come in early. Might have been a lap too early, but I mean, got the tyres warmed up, and probably saw that Rising Star when he lost the car a little bit on the outlap. Gained a little bit. But yeah, just managing the mediums there, and then when I got to the hards, it's kind of, yeah, I was back on pace. I was somehow outpacing Fireblaze, but I think he was just controlling his pace, to be honest. So I don't think he was pushing too hard. But I was trying to push to stay ahead of Abe by the end because he was catching fast. I had a few little mistakes, but just managed to keep it in the end. I think 70% on my rear tyres, so yeah, it was very close. Another lap, maybe I wouldn't have made it, or it would have been in puncture territory. But yeah, I'm happy with P2 after all of that.
Alpine are looking very strong this season. Two amazing drivers in their camper stable. And do you regret going on the midi compound tyres on the second stint after the inters as well? Because you did go on the midi compound tyres and you didn't really capitalise off them too much. So do you think it was better to do? Well, you couldn't do hard, could you? Because you had the two sets of mediums or something. Yeah,
unfortunately, I only had one set of hard tyres. Otherwise, it definitely would have been hard. But yeah, I'd say I've made the medium hard work there, and to be honest, I don't know how it would have ended on the hard. It might have probably been the same situation, but I'd be a bit more safer at the end for defending. But yeah, it's not much else to that really. I kind of expected it to be a dry race. I didn't expect it to be wet so early and then dry up at that moment, but yeah, I'll take the P2 in the end.
Did you think that any chance in the Grand Prix when you were up in second place, did you think that Fireblaze was there for taking? Did you think you could get on pace?
Initially, yeah, but when I made a mistake into the final hairpin.
I saw it.
I went straight on a little bit. kind of struggling a lot with the brakes. I had to like change the brake bias a lot during the race because it was just either locking the rears or it was locking the fronts or it just wasn't stopping, anything like that. And yeah, I just went straight on a little bit. And it was similar to Jeddah, but I had like space to turn the corner, make the corner. I didn't have to take for the run off that time. Otherwise, yeah, I definitely would have lost place to Eve there. But yeah, we were alright then. But I think after that, it was definitely not a chance of catching up Fireblaze. But he had like a few laps younger tyres anyway, so he would have been fairly okay from like a defending point of view.
And how do you feel over the back of Grand Prix next week, mate?
Shite. Yeah. Not looking forward to it. That's for sure. But yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Jensen, and congratulations on P2, mate. Continuing streak in the championship and on the podium too. So well done today, mate. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you for comms again.
You're welcome, mate. And I don't know if you've seen the Drivers' Championship, but it says you got 4 wins and 1 podium. So I think somebody made a mistake there in the Drivers' Championship standings on the website. But hopefully that changes. But Lotshift Junior.
Sorry. Yeah, I might just have one podium. Might just be the non-wins. You know, I don't know how they do that, but yeah.
Yeah, somebody needs to look into that because, that's definitely wrong on the podiums column. So I think somebody needs to change it, modify it. But we're moving on to the man in third place for Lotshift Junior on the podium once again, mate. And this is your 3rd podium of the season on the podium back in Monza. And welcome back to the top. Welcome back to the podium once again. How do you feel in the Grand Prix? You were so close to Fireblaze. Well, I say so close, but you catched him, but unfortunately you couldn't get him. How do you feel for P3?
Yeah, I was quite happy with the pace today. It was a shame that I lost at the start to Rising Star, and then I was stuck behind Jensen, and I felt like in the wet I was a bit quicker, but I don't know what his wings were, but I just couldn't overtake him. And then obviously we went on 2 different strategies. I went a bit longer on the inters, and then did a hard, but yeah, it didn't work out to get P2. And yeah, Fireblaze was just not, I think was way too far to catch up to him.
I think your teammate was a bit too far, wasn't he? 1 minute ahead of everybody. Were you two in the
Yeah,
fight?
he won the race. He won the race.
What was going on with him as well? Like, he did into hard, didn't he? Then all of a sudden he just went up into 1st place out of nowhere. I thought it was a glitch on my end, but it seems like everybody had it.
Yeah, it was a glitch on the game. Yeah, it's a shame because he went longer, like even longer than me on the inters. He wanted to do a 1-stop, and I think he maybe could have like pulled it off. But then yeah, he forgot to select hard tires to pit on, and yeah, that's a shame because I think maybe we could have challenged with 2 cars the Alpines for sure.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a hit and miss season for you guys as well because you're really quick, but it seems like you guys have a bit of a strategy blunder going on. I know, remember Nemo did it by accident by into hard. It's not really a strategy blunder. It's just misjudgment, not an input he needs to put into the hard cut power tires. But you two have definitely got the pace to challenge the Alpines. We've seen it this season, back in Monza too, but also things didn't go right for you guys there either on strategy. So what do you two need to work on? Because both Alpines seem like they've got good momentum and form so far. And what do you guys need to do to try and get them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think our execution on race days is just, I think we are more reactive instead of being proactive, and that's definitely something that Alpine is doing very well. So I think if we work on that and maybe discuss strategy a bit better before the races, I think we could challenge them. And also sometimes like you also have to be a bit lucky with like the DRS trains, with the traffic and all that stuff. But I think the season is very long. I think it's like 10 races left or 11. So nothing is finished, and we will keep working hard to get P1 in the drivers and in the constructors championship.
And on the bright side too, there is a positive to take away because she was a Division 2 driver last season, and so far I'm very impressed with what you've achieved so far this season because it was a slow start as well. Had a few races where you were a bit off the pace, but it seems like you're slowly but surely making your way on towards the game as well. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you're improving on this game now, getting faster and faster?
I think like my races have been very strong. Like I think almost every race I've gained positions or being close to my starting position. It's just my qualifying is just like very problematic. I need to start closer to pole position to have like really a shot at winning races. Yeah, if I can work on that, then maybe I can pull like a couple of wins. But still, like the progress I've made from Division 2 to Division 1, I can be happy with that.
Yeah, a bit of a tough time in Division 2, especially with your teammate as Yusuf Farouk, who was teammates with Yusuf Shabeik at the time. But yeah, ever since you split from him and you've been working on your racecraft, developing as well, and your pace has been really good. So we're just waiting for your first win. Yeah, I think it is coming. Like you said, you just need to execute it, be more proactive, and work as a team as well. Try and execute the races you need. And Alpine, they're difficult. They've got a strong lineup. Even Ferrari so far, first and second in the constructors, have got a really strong lineup. But Alpine just have the better of you as well. But there's plenty more races, like you said. 11 races left to go in the season to try and take away the glory from both Alpine drivers.
Yes, don't worry.
I'm not worried, mate. I know you can do it. But yeah, thank you very much, Ayub. And
yeah, you're welcome, mate.
How do you feel for Baku?
I haven't driven it really a lot this game, so also I don't like the circuit very much. So let's hope for a top 5. That's all I can say.
I was talking about this weekend.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm joking. But yeah, good looking back here. I know it's a difficult track, especially with the low grip surface and the tricky castle section, etc. So, and the close walls at the exit turn 1. So it could be difficult, but we'll see what happens, mate. And congrats on P3.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Cheers.
Fire Blaze, mate. Wow, I'm finally talking to you as a race winner for the first time since season 16 at the Mexican Grand Prix. Welcome to the top step of the podium, mate. You're back to your winning ways. It's been such a long time. You've had loads of P2s and P3s. You just narrowly missed out on first place every single time, hit and miss. But today's your day, mate. Today is your day, and congratulations on your first win of the season 2. You must be absolutely thrilled and ecstatic. Talk us through your emotions. I'm very happy for you, mate.
Well, of course, I'm very happy. How should I put it? I was just quite surprised with the pole position first off. Also quite close. I think 1,000th of a second it was between me and Mo. And yeah, basically when I got the great start at the beginning as well, and just stayed ahead and was able to pull away a bit on the Inter. I mean, yeah. I don't know, mate. It felt great. I just had great pace. I don't know. I don't even know what I did in particular to be that quick, but yeah. Eventually as well, switching over to the hards. I'm glad I stayed out 1 lap longer on the intermediates than my teammate did, to be fair. And yeah, too bad for Mo, by the way, on his pit stop blunder, or at least the tire selection.
Yeah, I'm looking to him on that one. Sorry about that, Barblaze. I was just reading the comment out, but it's not like you were in a battle the whole time as well. You were just dominating. That's the first ever time as well we've seen you do that so far this season. Like, it was all in your hands, and you were the one. The only person that could stop you was yourself, and you didn't do that, thankfully. So you had it all under control. You had the pace to build the gap and bridge the gap over 3 seconds ahead of Jensen. And you must have been nervous seeing Jensen in P2 with a gap of about 3.2 seconds. That was the closest I think he got towards you. So you must have been nervous about Jensen because you probably thought you had it all under control, but all of a sudden your Alpine team is behind you. And did that add a bit more pressure, or was you calm and relaxed?
Well, it did add some pressure. I kind of got some flashbacks from Monza and Saudi Arabia, where he was also pushing me. He was a lot closer than quite a bit sometimes, but I was luckily able to hold him off. And then once he made the mistake, yeah, I was just able to keep the gap nice and wide. So yeah, for the rest, I didn't really feel all too much pressure after he made the mistake. But yeah.
And how was it costing land in first place, mate? You must have been so relieved, and I know you've been like so annoyed every time you had like a bullet. You had so many seconds and third places all the time. You've been so frustrated. You just knowing that you've been there to try and get it, but unfortunately, it just slips out your hand at the very last second. So you must have felt so relieved when you crossed the line first.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just very happy with it. The result is great. I mean, it's a lot better feeling than getting screwed on some of the final laps or falling down the order during the race. Yeah, I'm just happy. I hope I can keep the momentum going into the next race.
Goed gedaan vandaag, Wouter, mate.
Dankjewel.
Geen probleem. And how do you feel for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix this week? Next week, sorry.
Well, I mean, it's another street track, so I hope I can just keep up my form again. I mean, this was also quite a surprise. I was expecting to be more like third or fourth, maybe, but yeah, if I can just repeat it again, that would be very nice.
I hope you do, mate, because I know as a good friend of yours, I was wanting you to win the Grand Prix, as you can imagine, and sorry for the other drivers, but you deserve to win the Grand Prix today, mate, and you've done it, so I'm happy. I'm very happy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
That is it then for the Miami Grand Prix. And your winner is Fablaze, a new winner this season. Alpine extend the championship ahead of Ferrari. Jensen extends his driver's championship ahead of Moenimo, who had a blunder for strategy, unfortunately, and fell backwards and a lap down. But that's the end of the Miami Grand Prix. We move on to Baku next week at 7:30. Join us there for the Land of Fire. And it's also the Baku Grand Prix this weekend too in Formula One. But what I'm waiting for is Singapore. Not because it's a Singapore track, it's because I'm actually going to commentate in real life. Not in Singapore, but in Lelystad. It's on the same weekend, so I can't wait for that as well. So I hope you enjoyed the F1 race this weekend between the two McLarens. Maybe Verstappen could take the victory, maybe Leclerc, because Ferrari's always been strong around that track, but Leclerc has always missed out on victories in the past there, despite having so many pole positions at that track. But anyways, I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now. Have a good weekend and take care. I'll be back with you at 7:30 for Baku next week on Wednesday.